My husband humiliated me at a baby shower while his family laughed, but I got my revenge by publicly exposing them and serving divorce papers at dinner. I don't even know where to start, but I really just need to get this out of my head because the longer I think about it, the more I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality. I've been up since about 3 in the morning, just replaying the whole thing, and I keep going back and forth between wanting to scream and wanting to just disappear for a bit. I, Gemma, hi, have been married to Randall for 3 years. We met in this super random way, actually, not through work or mutual friends or anything. Literally, we both got stuck in an elevator at an escape room, which sounds like a dumb rom-com thing, but it was just awkward silence, bad jokes, and me desperately needing to pee for about 40 minutes. So IDK, I guess that set the tone for us. Awkward, weird, too much time in close quarters, not a lot of actual romance. Anyway, I don't have a ton of close friends, but I have a few people I trust. My family is around. We're not super close, but we text and stuff. We see each other on holidays. You get it. Randall has a big family. Like, when I say big, I mean I can't remember half these people's names. Every time there's a family thing, it's like a crowd. There's this running thing where, at every event, people make jokes, it's in quotes for a reason, about me being the outsider, the serious one, or, my personal favorite, the one with opinions. It started off like, okay, whatever. Family ribbing isn't my vibe, but I can handle it. But lately it's been, I don't know, sharper, more pointed. I can't tell if I'm being oversensitive or if they really are getting meaner, but it's not fun anymore, if it ever was. So anyway, the main event, Ariana, Randall's cousin, is having her first baby. So there's a baby shower at his mom's house. I don't know if you've ever been to one of these, but it's not like cutesy games and pink cupcakes. It's more just everyone standing around in the kitchen, eating too much cheese and pretending to care about diaper brands. I got there with Randall, and immediately I could feel that weird, heavy vibe, like people are too loud but also watching me. IDK, how to explain it? It's like you're the only one not in on a joke. I tried to just chill, scrolling through TikTok on my phone, making small talk with Ariana, who's actually really nice and not part of the problem at all. But then of course Reagan, Randall's sister, who's like a main character in her own mind, swoops in, already holding a seltzer, and starts up with her usual. She asked if I finally learned how to make their grandma's pasta salad and told me my shoes are brave. They're Doc Martens. Like, okay, just the usual. I just fake laughed and tried to stay in the corner near the window because it was so hot with all these bodies in one house. Then someone, I think one of Randall's aunts, IDK, one of the loud ones, asked in that too bright voice, "So when are you two going to have a baby?" And I swear to God the whole room went quiet. I hate these questions. Randall knows this. He knows I don't want to talk about it in front of a crowd. He knows it's a sore spot. He knows I'm not even sure if I want kids. We've talked about maybe someday, but not now. Not like this. Not when we're still figuring stuff out. He always says he's on the same page, but then he'll make weird comments about being too young to be a dad. He's 33, not exactly a child. IDK. So, I just shrugged and said something like, "Oh, we're not in a rush." But Randall, I don't know, maybe it was the attention, maybe he'd had a drink, maybe he just felt like being cruel. He laughed. It wasn't a normal laugh, it was this loud, sharp, almost barking sound, and he said, "With her? I'd rather stay childless than raise kids with that kind of negativity." People actually laughed. Not just polite chuckles, but real laughter. Like he'd said something genuinely hysterical. Reagan, who's always got to get her bit in, said, "She'd probably give birth to complaints and breastfeed them drama." There was a pause, and then more laughter. I'm just standing there, totally exposed, like, what am I supposed to do? I looked at Randall, and he was grinning. Not at me, but at the room, clearly loving being the center of attention. I said, "You're not funny." I didn't even raise my voice, just said it straight. He gave me this smirk and said, "Relax. You're always so sensitive. No wonder I don't want kids with you." And I swear I've never wanted to slap someone so badly in my life. I didn't, though. I just clenched my fists and stared him down. Reagan was still cracking up. Someone else muttered something about women these days, and I don't even remember what I was thinking. I just needed out. I walked toward the hallway, planning to just get some air, maybe call my sister, but Randall grabbed my arm, hard. Not abusive, just too firm, like he was trying to stop me from making a scene. He said, "Where are you going? Don't ruin this for everyone." I pulled away and didn't even care who heard. I said, "Touch me again, and I will." He let go, but his hand lingered a second too long. As I was leaving, I heard his mom, super quiet, say to him, "Control your wife." It wasn't even meant for me, like I'm not a person who can hear things. Just a problem to be managed. I turned back and made eye contact, but I didn't say anything. I just kept walking. I passed Reagan in the hallway, and she tried to block me for a second like, "Oh, come on, Gemma. It was just a joke." I didn't even answer, just pushed past her, knocking over a little tray of party favors on the way out. She acted like I pulled a gun, gasping, but I just kept going. When I got to the front door, one of Randall's aunts, not even sure which one, honestly, everyone looks the same when you're this mad, tried to grab my arm, but I pulled away and said, "Don't. Just don't." I opened the door and slammed it behind me. I could hear Randall's voice raised inside, half apologizing, half blaming me, but I didn't care. I got in his car and just sat there for a minute, shaking. I texted my friend Malene, she's not my sister, just a friend with the same name, confusing, I know, sorry. And she said, "Do you want to come over?" So I drove to her place and just sat in her kitchen for about 2 hours, eating leftover pizza and talking about literally anything else. I didn't even want to look at my phone, but it kept buzzing. Group chat notifications, Randall's name, Reagan's name, his mom. I turned it off and shoved it in my bag. I didn't go home that night. I texted my mom just so she wouldn't worry, and she said she'd call me in the morning. She wasn't surprised, which should probably tell you something about how these things have been going. The whole time I kept thinking, what the hell did I just witness? I know Randall can be a jerk, but this was next level. I get that he likes to be funny, or thinks he is, but this wasn't teasing. This was mean, and it wasn't just him. Everyone else joined in, let it happen, or watched like it was a show. I don't know if I'm supposed to just laugh this off. I don't think I can. I keep replaying the way he grabbed my arm, the way his mom said, "Control your wife," the way Reagan tried to physically block me from leaving, like I was a dog off a leash or something. It all feels, IDK, deliberate, like they want to see if I'll break. To be honest, I think Randall acts this way because he's embarrassed that I don't worship his family the way everyone else does. He gets defensive when I point out stuff that's weird or mean. He's told me before that I make things awkward because I won't just play along. I think he likes being the funny guy, the golden child, especially in front of his mom. And I think Reagan just hates that I don't laugh at her jokes, or that I don't fit into the little box she has for wife of the family. IDK. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze them. I just don't know why else someone would act like that, except that they're used to getting away with it. I spent the rest of the night at Malene's, and when I woke up, there were about 30 unread messages in the family group chat. Randall tried calling. I didn't answer. His mom texted my mom, apparently, which is how I know she's very disappointed in me for causing a scene. But no one seems to care that he humiliated me in front of everyone. I don't even think they see it as a big deal. I'm supposed to just let it go, I guess, because that's what good wives do. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but I'm not going to just roll over and let them treat me like this. I'm not the one who needs to apologize. I think I'm done pretending this is normal. Next part, if people actually care. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm still mad. I'm not going home, and Randall's going to have to find his own ride back from his mom's house because I am not picking him up. I don't even care if he has to Uber. Anyway, thanks for reading if you made it this far. I'm not sure what happens next, but I don't think I'm going to just forget about this. So yeah, here I am again. BC, apparently my life is just a series of group chats and awkward family politics now. NGL, I was going to wait to update until I figured out what I actually wanted to do, but honestly, if I don't write this out, I'm going to lose it. So, after I left that nightmare baby shower, see previous post if you want the details, it was a mess. I crashed at my friend Malene's place. She didn't ask a ton of questions, just handed me some sweats and let me raid her freezer. I didn't even check my phone that night, except to text my mom so she wouldn't worry. I was honestly expecting like a couple of missed calls from Randall, maybe a half-assed apology or something. But what I got the next morning was a full-on digital circus. First weird thing, my phone was blowing up before I even opened my eyes. About 30 group chat notifications, Randall's icon, Reagan's, his mom, of course, even Ariana. I hadn't even brushed my teeth yet, and I'm already getting that feeling like walking into a meeting where everyone's mad at me, but no one will say why. I opened the main family group chat. They call it the Fam Jam, which makes me cringe every time, and LOL, it's basically a roast session. At first, it's just Randall asking if anyone's heard from me. Then his mom jumped in with this passive-aggressive question about whether I'm feeling better, and how everyone's very concerned. But it got worse. Reagan posted a meme of a cat with drama queen in big letters. I know, highly comedic. Then it turned into this weird debate. Some people said I overreacted. Others were like, it was just a joke, why'd she have to storm out? A couple of people, thank you, Ariana, tried to calm things down, but it was like talking to a wall. Randall's aunt, the one who always brings up her gluten allergy like it's a personality trait, said something about how some people just can't handle family traditions. And that's when I started to actually feel sick. Like, how is public humiliation a tradition? Am I missing something? Is this just a thing people do? I scrolled back through the messages and saw that Randall's mom texted my mom separately. My mom forwarded it to me because, of course, she does. The message was all, maybe you can talk some sense into Gemma. She's upsetting everyone, and it's not good for the family. My mom's reply was basically just, I'll check in with her. So, no help there. Then, because the universe is hilarious, my own family group chat lit up. My mom was trying to play peacekeeper, saying maybe I should come home for dinner and talk things through. My dad sent a thumbs up emoji and nothing else, which is just classic him. My sister, yes, I have a sister named Melaine, different from my friend Melaine, I know it's confusing, sorry, went rogue and started sending me TikToks about toxic in-laws and then just said, you should go full scorched earth. I almost laughed, which was the closest I'd come to smiling since the baby shower. I told my mom I'm not ready to talk to Randall. She said she understood, but I could tell she thought I should just let it go or at least smooth things over. She's always been like that, avoid conflict, don't make waves, etc., but my sister was like, you better not cave on this. I'm honestly glad she has my back, even if she's a little too into revenge plots sometimes. The next weird thing, Randall tried calling. I let it go to voicemail. Then he texted saying I'm making things worse and I should just apologize so everyone can move on. I literally laughed out loud at that. Like, am I the one who made things worse? Am I the one who made a joke out of my partner in front of a room full of people? Absolutely wild. I started typing out a reply, but deleted it 3 times. I couldn't figure out how to say what I wanted to say without sounding like I'm just as petty as them. Honestly, I don't even know what I want from him at this point. An apology? For him to get it just once? I'm not holding my breath. Then Reagan started up again in the group chat, posting another meme. This time, a stock photo of a woman rolling her eyes with, "Here comes the drama in Comic Sans." I wanted to throw my phone. Instead, I just muted the chat and went for a walk around Maline's neighborhood. It was freezing out, but it helped. I called my friend and ranted for a solid 10 minutes. She just listened and said, "Do you want to stay another night?" I said yes. When I got back, there was another wave of messages. Now Randall was trying to DM me separately, saying he didn't mean it, but also that I know how his family is and I shouldn't take things so personally. He said, "If you just come home, we can talk it out." I texted back, "You embarrassed me on purpose." He left me on read. Then, out of nowhere, Reagan screenshotted our DM and posted it in the fam jam. She added, "Wow, someone's off their meds." I saw it because Ariana immediately texted me a screenshot of that and said, "I'm so sorry, this is so out of line." I actually saw red for a second. I'm not even on meds, but even if I was, what the hell? I texted Reagan, "Delete that now, or I will make sure everyone knows exactly what you said about your mom at Christmas." She deleted it. I didn't say anything else. I just wanted her to know I'm not playing nice anymore. After that, Randall's mom tried to call me. I let it ring. Then she left a voicemail saying, "Gemma, you need to stop causing drama. This isn't how we handle things in this family." I didn't even listen to the rest. I decided, screw it, I'm not hiding. I posted in the family group chat, "I'm not your clown. I'm not here for your entertainment, and I'm not putting up with the jokes anymore. If any of you want to talk to me like adults, I'm here. If not, leave me alone." I typed it out, reread it, then hit send before I could overthink it. Immediate reaction. The chat went silent for about 5 minutes. Then Randall's aunt chimed in with, "See, this is what I mean about outsiders not understanding." I left it. I'm not going to argue with someone who thinks cruelty is just tradition. Later that night, Randall actually showed up at Maline's apartment. I don't even know how he found the address, but I guess he checked my location on Find My iPhone, which, okay, I should have turned off. Maline opened the door and just stood there, arms crossed. Randall tried to act all wounded, like, "Can we please just talk?" I said, "Not here." He said, "You can't keep avoiding me forever." I said, "Watch me." He tried to step inside. Maline blocked him. He said, "You're making this worse, Gemma." I said, "You already did that." He said, "You're my wife. You have to talk to me." I said, "Not tonight." He started getting louder, so Maline told him to leave, or she'd call the building manager. He left, slamming the door. I thanked her. She said, "You're not staying married to that guy, right?" I said, "IDK." My mom called again, said she's worried, she thought I should come home and get some space. My dad got on the phone for about 2 seconds, just said, "If he shows up here, I'll handle it." I actually felt better after that. The next day, Randall's mom tried to get my mom involved again, like I'm some teenager who needs to be disciplined. My mom said, "Gemma's an adult. She'll decide what she wants to do." I was shocked. I didn't know she had it in her. But still, no one from Randall's side actually apologized for anything. They just wanted me to stop making a scene. That night, I called my sister and just vented for a while. She said, "You know they're never going to change, right? You have to decide if you want to live with this forever." I said, "I don't." She said, "Then don't. It's not that easy," but I know she's right. By now, I've packed a bag and moved back in with my parents for a bit. Randall kept texting, saying he misses me but also that I owe his family an apology. I didn't reply. He tried calling again. He emailed me to say he just wants things back to normal. I deleted it. I keep thinking about why Randall acts like this. Like, is it just his family? Is it me? I don't think he actually hates me. I think he's just scared of not fitting in with his family, scared of being seen as whipped or whatever. He's told me before that his mom always rides him if he doesn't keep things under control. So, I guess he gets points for handling me. It's all just so childish. I started seeing little things differently now, like the way his family always closes ranks when someone calls them out, or how Randall always wants to be the funny guy, no matter who he throws under the bus. I think I always hoped he'd grow out of it. Now, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure what my next move is, but I know I'm not going back to the way things were. I'm not going to be the family punching bag. I'm not apologizing for standing up for myself. And if Randall wants to pick his family over me, then fine. He can have them. I have my own people, even if they're a little messy and sometimes too honest. So, yeah, that's where things are right now. I'm at my parents' house. My mom's making too much food. My sister's sending me memes about girl boss revenge. And Randall's blowing up my phone from random numbers. I don't know how this ends, but I'm not just rolling over. Next update when I figure out my move. So, it's been a few days since I basically dropped off the face of the earth as far as Randall's family is concerned. I've been at my parents' house. My mom keeps making soup and acting like I'm 12. My dad mostly keeps out of it, except for one time he grunted something like, "You don't deserve that," which, for him, is like a whole speech. My sister has been living for the drama angle, but also texting me every day to make sure I'm not backing down. At one point, I started to doubt myself, like maybe I was being dramatic. But then I read back through the group chat memes and the DMs and just, yeah, no. Anyway, yesterday afternoon, Randall's mom texted me. She's inviting me to a family dinner at some place they all love, the one with the chairs that wobble, and the breadsticks everyone fights over. She said it's to clear the air and move past this unfortunate drama. I almost laughed because it's so on brand. Invite me somewhere public so I can't cause a scene. I showed my mom the text and she said, maybe it's a chance to get some closure. My dad just said do what you want, but don't let them talk you into anything. For about 2 hours I debated going. Part of me wanted to never see these people again. But then I remembered the way Randall tried to handle me at the baby shower, and his mom telling him to control your wife. And honestly, I got mad all over again. So I texted my sister, "Want to come to a weird family dinner as my emotional support human?" She replied with just the skull emoji and hell yes. So, that's settled. We drove over together. Malene was blasting music. I was just scrolling through my notes app, rereading all the stuff I wanted to say if I got the chance. I almost chickened out and deleted it, but Malene grabbed my phone and said, "Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're the problem." She's right. We got to the restaurant and the hostess gave us that look like, "Oh, you're with that group." The whole family was there. Randall, his mom and dad, Reagan, of course, 2 aunts, an uncle, even Ariana, who just looked tired. Everyone's pretending to be chill, but it's as fake as their smiles. Randall stood up like he was going to hug me, but I just nodded and took a seat at the end of the table. Malene sat next to me, arms crossed, staring everyone down. The energy was so weird, like they're all waiting for me to apologize. They started with small talk, but it was stiff. Randall's dad was talking about his car. Someone brought up the weather. I just ran my finger along the menu and nodded every so often. No one brought up the baby shower, but I could feel it, like everyone's just waiting for the main event. Reagan, who for some reason decided to wear sunglasses indoors, kept whispering to her aunt and looking at me. Finally, after the server dropped off drinks, Randall's mom cleared her throat and said, "So, I think we all know why we're here. I'd like to move forward, but we can't do that if people keep holding grudges." She looked right at me, then at Randall, then back at me. She said, "It would be helpful if everyone could apologize for their part in this so we can all put it behind us." I almost spit out my water. Randall jumped in and said, "We all said some things, but I think you overreacted, Gemma. I just want things to go back to normal." Reagan snorted and muttered, "Some people don't even know what normal is." I looked at Malene, and she just raised an eyebrow, waiting for me to do something. For a second, I almost let it go. I almost said nothing because that's what I've always done. But this time, I was too pissed. So, I pulled out my phone and opened my notes. I said, "Actually, I have a list." Randall's mom looked confused. Reagan rolled her eyes. I started reading. I said, "Starting from the first time I met you guys, here's a few things you've all said to me, just so we're clear about what's just a joke and what's actually mean." I read off the pasta salad comment from Reagan, the time Randall's mom said I'd never fit in until I wore a dress like hers, the group chat memes, the drama queen stuff, even Randall's comment about not wanting kids with negativity. I didn't yell, I just read. The table got quiet, really quiet, except for one aunt who kept sipping her wine. Randall interrupted and said, "Okay, but you know we're just joking, right? We don't mean it." I said, "You laughed at me, not with me. You made me the punchline for your own entertainment, and you didn't care if it hurt me." Reagan said, "Oh my God, are we really doing this?" I said, "Yeah, we are." Then I looked right at Randall and said, "You want to talk about normal? How about the fact that you told me last month you didn't want kids because you couldn't risk me turning them against you? How about how you said you're not ready to be tied down, but you're ready to use me as a prop for your family jokes?" I said, "I'm done being your shield. If you want to keep playing the golden child, you can do it without me." Randall's face went red. He tried to cut me off, saying, "Why are you saying this here?" I said, "Because every time I try to talk to you in private, you act like it's not a big deal. So now you can deal with it in front of everyone, just like you humiliated me in front of everyone else." Reagan started to stand up, saying, "You don't get to come in here and act like you're the victim, Gemma." I said, "Then stop acting like I'm the villain just because I won't laugh at your jokes." She started to move around the table toward me, but Malene stood up too, blocking her. Reagan muttered something about crazy. Malene just told her to sit down. Randall's mom said, "This is enough. You're tearing this family apart." I said, "No, you are, by refusing to see what's right in front of you. You want respect, but you don't give any. If you want me to apologize for leaving after being insulted, it's not happening. I'm not sorry for refusing to be treated like garbage." I reached into my bag and pulled out an envelope. I slid it across the table to Randall. He looked at it, confused. I said, "Those are divorce papers. I just need you to sign." The silence was unreal. Reagan actually gasped. Randall's mom said, "You can't be serious." I said, "I'm done, and I'm not changing my mind." Randall tried to grab my arm as I stood up, but I shook him off. I said, "Don't touch me." He stood up, started to raise his voice, and said, "You're throwing everything away over some jokes." I said, "No, I'm throwing it away because you don't respect me, and neither does your family." Reagan slammed her hand on the table and said, "You're just jealous because you're not one of us." I laughed and said, "Thank God for that." Malene put her hand on my shoulder. We turned to leave. Randall followed us into the lobby, kept saying, "Let's just talk. We can fix this. You don't have to do this." I stopped, turned around and said, "You had every chance to fix it. You chose to embarrass me instead. Now it's your turn." As we walked out, Randall shouted after me, "You'll regret this, Gemma." I didn't even turn around. Malene opened the door for me, and we walked out together. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know I'm not backing down. I gave them every chance to treat me like a person, and they failed every single time. Now it's my turn to walk away. Next update soon. I'm tired. Okay, so I really thought after that dinner everything would just be, I don't know, done. But LOL, I guess nothing is ever just done when it comes to Randall's family. I've been sitting on this update for a few days. BC, every time I think the dust has settled, someone finds a new way to be weird or petty. So, here's the final mess, as promised. This is long and probably not the clean ending some people want, but that's just life. So, after the restaurant showdown, I honestly thought Randall would just get the hint. He didn't. The man is nothing if not persistent in that extremely annoying way where you realize this is why he's always been the golden child. He just refuses to accept when he's not winning. The next morning, I woke up at my parents' house to about a dozen missed calls. Randall, his mom, Reagan of course, and 3 random numbers I didn't even recognize. My dad was already up making coffee and just grunted when I came in. I scrolled through the messages. Literally all some version of, "Please talk to me," or "You didn't have to do that," or "Let's be reasonable." I muted my phone. My mom asked if I'm okay. I said, "Yeah, just tired." She made waffles. My plan that day was just to do nothing. But Randall's mom had other ideas. She texted my mom basically saying I'm destroying the family, her words, and that Randall is so lost without me. Yeah, okay. She actually asked if my mom could talk some sense into me. My mom, to her credit, just said, "Gemma's an adult, she'll figure it out." I could tell she's over the drama at this point. The next day, I started the process of moving my stuff out. I texted Randall, told him I'd be by with my dad to get my things. He said he'd be out. I said, "Good." When we got there, nothing was moved. My plants were dry, my mail was piled up on the counter, and there was a half-eaten pizza on the table. Classic. I packed up my stuff. My dad hauled boxes. Neither of us talked much. When we were done, I left the spare key on the counter and slammed the door when we left. Later, Randall texted. He said, "You could have at least said goodbye." I didn't reply. I kept expecting Randall to try something big and dramatic, but honestly, he just sort of petered out. A couple of days went by, nothing. Then, I got a message from his mom. It was 3 pages of her telling me I never understood family and that marriage is about forgiveness. She said I'm tearing Randall apart. I took a picture and sent it to my sister. She replied, "Frame it as a warning. Meanwhile, my own family is over it. My dad said I can stay as long as I want. My mom is just happy I'm eating her food. My sister keeps sending me links to apartments. The only real awkwardness is with a couple of mutual friends." One of Randall's buddies texted me like, "Are you serious about this?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Wow, didn't think you'd actually go through with it." I didn't even know what to say to that, so I just left him on read. Another friend asked if I wanted to talk about it, but I just said, "I'm good, thanks." People always act like they want the tea, but really, they just want to know which side to pick. The apartment search is not fun. TBH, I forgot how annoying it is to move. Every place is either too small, too expensive, or just smells weird. I found one I like, but it's got a 2-month wait, so I'm still at my parents'. My mom keeps asking if I want to invite anyone over for dinner, like she's trying to make up for the last decade of not having family meals. My dad fixed a leaky faucet in the kitchen and joked that at least I'm not married to the plumbing. About 4 days after the dinner, I got a text from Ariana. She said, "Reagan is telling people you attacked her at the restaurant." I laughed. I texted back, "She wishes." Ariana said, "I told her to grow up." I said, "Thanks, you're the only normal one." Then, finally, a week to the day after the shower, Randall texted me from a random number. I was picking up groceries for my mom, scrolling through my phone in the parking lot, and there it was, "Please talk to me." I was just joking, I didn't even get mad. I just screenshotted it and sent it to my sister and Malene. Malene replied, "He's really still on that." My sister said, "Send him a clown emoji." I thought about ignoring it, but honestly, I wanted to make it clear. "So," I replied, "so was I. I was just pretending to be your wife." I didn't get a reply. I blocked the number. Randall never showed up at my parents' house, which is honestly a relief. I heard from a mutual friend that he's crashing at his mom's for now, and apparently she's not exactly thrilled about it. I guess the golden child treatment has limits. I don't really care what happens with him. I just want to get my new place, get my plans back in order, and go back to being boring. The only drama left is the paperwork. I filed the papers myself, paid the stupid fee, and got the confirmation email. I told my mom. She hugged me longer than usual. My sister made a cake that says, "Congratulations on your divorce," in pink icing. I laughed so hard I almost dropped it. Randall will probably always think he's the victim. His mom will probably keep telling people I was difficult, and Reagan will keep posting memes until the day she dies. But honestly, I don't care. I stood up for myself. I got out. Thanks to everyone who actually read these long rants and didn't tell me to just be the bigger person. Sometimes you just have to be done. Anyway, I'm off to water my sad plants, eat divorce cake, and maybe scroll apartments until I find one that doesn't have weird carpet or neighbors who play the recorder at midnight. Peace out.